Welcome to the Illuminati Broadcast. I'm your host, David Moore. Today's September 23rd. It's Tuesday. It's a really nice day. It's beautiful outside. Alright, so I know that the internet is forever. You can make a lot of videos and say whatever you want. But I also have to remember that that's my voice out there. And that part's kind of scary because people can use that against you. They can use your story against you. They can use whatever it is that is in your head against you. And I have to remember that no one's on my side. People can pretend to be on your side, but they're not. People can act like they're your friend or part of your story, but they're not. They don't care what happens to you. At the end of the day, if you get locked up or put away, they're not going to be there for you. They're not going to be suffering inside that jail cell with you or that mental asylum. So, while I share my story, my best hope is not to be someone that is a target for others to chain down. When we look at the Ars Goetia, you see King Solomon, and he's binding these demons to do his work, to do his bidding in the temple. They help him build the temple. He basically makes them do things that they don't want to do. And that's kind of what this world is like. They make you do things you don't want to do. And I try every day my hardest to destroy that idea. Because I don't want to do things that everyone else wants to do. I don't want to do things the way everybody else wants me to do them. I want to do things my own way. I want to live my own way. But you can't do that in this world. That doesn't exist. So yeah, I make a game called Castle Demon Lord. It's a role-playing game. Maybe I can try to make it online where people can play with me online through the YouTube videos. And I share lore about it, about that world and how it works. It's parallel to ours. It's for entertainment purposes only. It's a fun time. It's a good place. You use your imagination. You play with your mind. And you just have fun creating this world that exists for you. You could build anything you want. You can do anything you want. You can go here. You can go there. You can fight any way you want. It's a magical world that's built for you to have fun. And my character is the Demon Lord. He rules over the whole earth. He destroyed all of California and created his own little island fortress where he basically rules over humanity in peace in his own little castle on an island using the Los Angeles mountains. And he summons demons and dark creatures and angels and all kinds of manners of mythical beings, and robots and technology are all at his disposal. And he teleports people to his island so they can have fun and play on there. So that's Castle Demon Lord. There's realities that have been set in the game that are related to our real world. So we have the past, the present, and the future. Then we have the Mannequins, the Illuminati champions, and of course the Demon Lord. And sharing this story is kind of crazy because it's something I work on I put a lot of work into it. I put my heart and soul into it. It's everything. It can be mental illness, it can be depression, it could be fear, anxiety, it could be a lack of self-worth, it could be narcissism, it could be anything and everything. And that's the point that I made this game for. Not just for other people, but for myself. And it's a way of expressing my magic. It's a way of expressing my knowledge and sharing that with others, and others sharing their knowledge with me, their experiences. I hope that one day this game can help people with mental illnesses, or people just in general. That doesn't even matter if they have mental illness or not. I want it to be something that they can learn about themselves and express who they are, because we live in a world where, sure, everybody gets what they want, but the real you is kind of lost and it's hidden. And this game brings out who you truly are. Brings out the best of what you are. And I grew up in a way where you share those thoughts and feelings and you don't get hurt for it. I grew up in a way where you have to trust what you have. But then there's something else. It's another world. It's the world outside your family, outside your own. It's a world where people have opinions and they judge you. And they decide what's right and what's wrong. They decide for you. They control you. Without your family, without your truth, you're nothing. And they take advantage of that. And they turn you into the person they want you to be. They control you. That's what Castle Demon Lord is about. Breaking free of that control and creating your own world and living your own life. And people are going to always try to stop you from living your own life. And there's nothing you can do about it. You can't fight back. You can't retaliate. You have to trust them. And what's worse is that they're monsters. And you still have to trust them. Yeah, they'll try to hurt you. They'll try to make your life a living hell. They'll try to take advantage of you. And you have to protect yourself, but you can't fight back. What kind of life is that? So that's kind of where I teach you how to play the game Castle Demon Lord, so you can learn how to do magic. You're not always going to have the best weapon or the greatest ideas, but you're always going to have something special inside of you that allows you to make really good choices in your life. Choices that you can be proud of. And you can lead your own life and know that you made decisions on your own and that you do good for the world. So my character is obviously a villain. He rules over Los Angeles County. We should give it a new name after a while, right? Because he's going to conquer it. He started off as a hero. He fought to protect and help and save other people. And he gave a lot of other humans chances. And in the end, that bites him in the ass. But at least he's living in dignity, where he knows that he did what was right for him and he made his own choices. Just like Frank Sinatra, I did it my way. But now the Demon Lord is in a new position where he has to be crucial and vital and exact. But he also has to be willing to be flexible. He has to be willing to give up at times. He has to be silent. And then there are moments where he can be himself, but he's fighting for his life, essentially. And in the game, he always wins, but in reality, it might be a little different. It might be a little more difficult for him to win anything because the world isn't really on his side. Well, the world is on his side, but the mannequins aren't. And the mannequins are going to be characters in the game that go against or resist the Demon Lord and his powers and his authority to rule. You know, we live in a world where you can't be yourself. Some people are. They're goofy, cringy, funny, weird. Some people are annoying, angry, sad. We have all different kinds of emotions, all different kinds of people. And there's always an excuse, always a reason to stop you from living your life. There's always going to be a reason to stop you from living your life the way you want to. And I fight every day. I practice my magic every day, learning how to fight back, how to speak my own mind, how to be my own person without everyone thinking it's just a joke. But them thinking it's a joke, I guess, works to my advantage because they just take everything too serious and they don't understand what it's like. Alright, since we got a little bit serious today, I think it's important to talk like this and understand yourself. For me, this is a journal. I don't really do it to get famous or to have people notice me or to spread any kind of word or knowledge. I just do it because I want to see myself talk and I want to hear what I'm saying and I want to understand myself better. Alrighty, so it's 5 o'clock. It's going to be 6. It's on a Tuesday. We're in the hour of the moon, and next we're in the hour of Saturn. Today I invoked the spirit Furfur. He's really cool. The 34th spirit is Furfur. He is a great and mighty earl, appearing in the form of a heart with a fiery tail. I believe a heart would be a rabbit. He never speaks truth unless he be compelled. Also, might I mention, in a lot of movies, they show this kind of deer with this fieriness, and I think that usually is him. He never speaks truth unless he be compelled or brought up within a triangle. Being therein, he will take upon himself the form of an angel. In Pokemon, this is Magnemite and Magneton. Or Magnetite? I don't know. Anyways, being bidden, he speaketh with a hoarse voice. Also, he will wittingly urge love between men and women. He can raise lightnings and thunders, blasts and great tempestuous storms, and he gives true answers of both things secret and divine. Yeah, so he's a pretty cool spirit, I guess. Makes thunderstorms, and I mean, that kind of makes sense. You know, Magnemite does stuff like that. And I guess you can say he causes some kind of love because it's like a magnet, so he can cause this magnetic energy. He can raise lightnings and thunders, and he gives true answers both of things secret and divine. Yeah. And he's an Earl, so that makes him iron. And I guess Magnemite is kind of an iron type Pokemon, right? Like he's steel type, but that's a bit of iron. Whatever. Alright, so yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Let's see, if we're working with the moon right now, and it's a door opening, the moon is the dreams. I did have a weird dream last night about being homeless, and I saw this one girl that I knew that I worked with, and her name was B, and she was showing me her tattoos, and she said something about her palm reading, like I had steered her wrong in the palm reading, but she had a whole bunch of like the symbol for west on her hand, like love, and it looked like, when I read her palm again, I was like, you're holding on to love and you're letting it hurt you, kind of like a rope burn. And there was this like baby, and it was like, I want to listen to Panic at the Disco and sing, I want to rap and become the greatest rapper on earth. And I looked at the baby like, what the heck, you're crazy. And I woke up and I was like, that was weird. The baby was talking, like the AI videos that they have now. Crazy, right? Yeah. I live in Los Angeles. That's a pretty cool place, right? I've always hated LA. I've never liked it here. I never wanted to come here. But I'm like, you know what? I think the place that I hate the most is the place I need to go. if I really want to find out what's wrong with my life, I have to go in that direction, because you have to do things that make you uncomfortable, right? Yeah, so next hour would be Saturn, so that's, death, destruction, power, rebirth, control, that chain energy. Yeah, I'm giving myself a little trim in the back. I don't know. I'm crazy when it comes to my hair. I'll always cut it, but I like to do that. Yeah. I wanted to do some rituals today, but I was like, no, I'm just gonna wait till I have a little bit more time, and I need to go get a lighter so I can burn this charcoal and then put the incense on there. And I was like, can I do that at the beach? Because that would be really fun to do at the beach. So I might try to do that at the beach next time I get the chance. Who knows? I was like, I could do it at MacArthur Park. That'd be kind of cool. Give it some good vibes. But I was also thinking, like, I can't rely on rituals like that all the time, because to me it's a bit weak. And the reason why it's a bit weak is because it's not practical, and I like practical things. So when I'm using cauldrons and magic spells and wands, those are impractical, because you can't just walk around the city with incense and a burner, and you can't just burn it wherever you want. You can't just use your wand wherever you want. You have to follow the laws. You have to follow the rules, the human restrictions. I remember yesterday when I was talking about it, one of the counselors was like, well, does it involve open flames like fire? And I'm just like, get out of my face. Like, I used to make bonfires all the time, and this has nothing to do with fire. It's just incense. Gosh, like, why do you have to be so ignorant? But it's like really annoying, to be honest. Humans annoy me a lot. But I think it's because they just love being in control. It just comes natural to them. They're probably master demonologists, and I have no idea. Alright, so let's see. Let's get a little bit more into the magic side and all these other things. So if today's Tuesday and we have this war energy and this moon, and it's going into Saturn, so this is actually the perfect time for destruction. So I've been working on a spell to destroy my enemies, and I noticed that when I get like heavier energy like this and I use it towards that, the atmosphere changes, because they're in a lot of pain, obviously, but I'm doing my best to like bring in this really good energy and make everybody happy, so that way they don't know that they're suffering, because if they know that they're suffering, they're just gonna make my job harder. So I kind of have to do it like an illusion. I have to work on my illusion magic, and I think that's okay. Glamour is pretty much illusion magic. Enchantments, illusions can be anything that you use to control a narrative. So if we see all these people that we want to use magic on in the game, for example, the mannequins, and you create an illusion spell that kind of... Okay, yeah, so let's pretend you're playing Castle Demon Lord, and you have to fight some mannequins. Usually I'll have the mannequins wearing a mask and some robes or something that represents what they're following. So maybe for Aries and Mars, I can have them wearing some kind of masks that are like a bit fiery, and then for Hermes, I could have them wearing masks encrusted with like different gems. And then for Artemis, I could have them with masks that are kind of like, I don't know. I'm thinking silvery or white, or maybe something that has to do with water, or like a face that is like really well done. Yeah, so I can have them wearing a mask that's like a face, but It's not too like flashy or flamboyant. And then for Venus, for Aphrodite, for my character, I don't. I think I would have mannequins, people that pretend to be followers of Aphrodite. So maybe they have like hearts or like really happy things on their masks. So they're just pretending to be happy. And they're basically just using Aphrodite to like try to get close to him and mess up his game. So basically, yeah, but Aphrodite can tell right away when they see a mannequin in his domain. So like pretending to worship him. But the other mannequins, they do worship Artemis, Ares, and Hermes. And yeah, I think that'll be interesting. And in the game, I usually have this idea that let me show you the map real quick. Because I do have the map. I do draw it out, let me take out all these papers real quick because they kind of make it blocky up in here. I think it's the last page in my... right before the Ars Goetia. Alright. This is the map. Let's try to put it in focus a little bit. Right here is the Los Angeles Mountains. You have Lancaster Palmdale up here, Los Angeles. I think this is Santa Clarita. No, this is Santa Clarita, and this is like San Bernardino, Victorville, Santa Fe areas. Alright, so you have Lake LA up here somewhere, and then Lancaster Palmdale. And then you have the Los Angeles Mountains. Pretty cool, right? And everything surrounding it is water, so like all the cities outside of it get flooded, and it becomes this place. So that's my kind of astral realm area. So when I'm like in the astral realm, I just focus on that, and anything else on the outside like gets compressed. So if there's people on the outside, they're really all on that island. So everyone on the planet is really on that island, and that island is the main dimension, I guess you could say. So no matter where you go, you're somewhere on that map. And it changes every day, right? So what's today, Tuesday? Everybody would be in the southern domain today. So all the mannequins would be in the southern domain, which is Los Angeles. And the southern domain is ruled by Ares, and he's a musician. He's super popular. He's grandioso, and he has amazing music, and he runs the musician side of the Illuminati. I think a little secret about the Illuminati is that they love to transport people. They love to... how do I say this? They like to get their mannequins, and they like to use them for like evil deeds or something, like evil crafts. So the Demon Lord is evil, obviously, but these other champions are evil as well. But I don't know, I guess which one's the greater evil, right? And so my character's like, I'm the best, I'm the most evil, but I don't do things the same way they do. They're just gross. Like, I like to do my rituals nice and clean and happy and be super splendid, but I love to destroy humanity and all the mannequins. And the other champions are like, well, we like to sacrifice our mannequins and gain power and do crazy things to stay in power, because they have to do those things. My character doesn't have to. But then again, my character, since they don't do those things, maybe that's why it's not popular like them. It's not financial like them, because they actually do some dark rituals that actually involve mannequin lives. Alright, so a mannequin is going to be a human that is going to go to hell, and they don't have any chance to go to heaven, and that's the majority of the population. So maybe 99% of humans on Earth are mannequins, and the 1% is not. And there's a very few of the 1%. And we don't know who those are, just that my character's not a mannequin. Definitely not a mannequin. And mannequins are usually from the past or present realm, but lately they have been seen coming from the future realm as well. And the future realm is somewhere that has, like, these people have been around the Demon Lord for a really long time, so they know who he is and what he's like. And in the present realm, they're kind of like manipulating the other realms because they're not as intelligent when it comes to the Demon Lord. But then again, the primal realm knows a lot about the Demon Lord, and the present realm actually does too, but they're not, they're definitely mannequins because the Demon Lord doesn't want them. They're just existing to make his life miserable, kind of like pushing him to pushing him to conquer the earth instead of being like just relaxing and lazy and having a good time. It gives him a reason, kind of like when a bug bites you, you can feel it and you can choose not to squish it, or you can just squish it and just get rid of it right then and there, you know? It's just, there are obstacles, you have to do it, kind of like when you want to eat something and you're hungry and you just have to eat what's in front of you, or you have to chew it. Like, these are just like mundane things that are so mannequins. They're boring, they ruin everything, they just ruin anything in life. I remember my niece was playing a game where it's like this happy game where like people get gassed up on happiness and like you're, I don't know, I just wish I could remember what the game was called, but it was pretty cool. And I'm like, that's how life is. That's how people, that's how humanity is. And that kind of made me proud because I'm like, you know, see, my niece sees this and I don't even have to be around and she knows what's going on in the world. And like, I'm just proud of her. All right. So, yeah. The idea of a mannequin is so boring. It makes me yawn. I'm going to go get an energy drink. I'll be right back. All right. Let's do a little ASMR. Just kidding. Alright, okay. They're watching Black Mirror. I really like the show. It's creepy. It's cool for conspiracy theories. I really want to watch it. So I was in there, I was like, oh, I want to watch Black Mirror. It's still 6 o'clock, so we still have time. I can still make videos. I want to sneeze really bad. Hold on, let me see if I can sneeze. Alright, no. I might pause it any minute. All right. So I was watching this thing about Berserk. It's this manga anime that is really freaking cool, and it has everything to do with how the spiritual realm works and how magic works, etc. So if that's something you're interested in, check it out because it'll definitely help you get where you want to be in the astral realm and help you understand the rules, because they have these archons, these really strong demon lords that are like ruling over humanity and influencing it. And they have like these scary monstrous forms that they transform into. And you can see that in reality, kind of like with our Illuminati champions. So we have a champion of fire, earth, water, air, and then the fire is obviously the musician, the earth is the actors, the water is politicians and monarchy, and air is just me. It doesn't have really anything going on with it. Maybe dancing, fashion, inspiration, love, beauty, grace. But because these guys, the other champions, had a relationship with Aphrodite in the spiritual realm, they can easily tap into that love energy, and people can use it whenever they want, the mannequins, and they can, recycle that energy, so they don't have to really go to Aphrodite for it. Yeah, they don't have to go to Aphrodite for a lot of these things. So they usually go to the other champions because the other champions have notoriety. But Aphrodite has the power to make anybody famous. And he does a really good job at it, and it's super easy for him, but he puts a lot of work into it too. But I mean, the other guys do too. They do their work. But it's this like power struggle, and also Aphrodite, my character, the demon lord, is like, you know what? I'm gonna conquer these other champions and I'm gonna take over. So he's been doing spells to Artemis to break him, because the more he breaks him, the weaker these guys get, and they can't handle the pressure anymore. But Aphrodite also has to do like a happy spell, so everybody's glamorized and enchanted, and under this illusion that everything's okay, that everything's fine, that everything's beautiful, that they don't really. It's like going into a battle and you don't see your health bar and it starts getting lower and lower and you don't even know. You think that it's actually going higher and you think you're getting more points when you're losing points. So I'm kind of like lying to them, really. But in the spiritual realm. Cheers. Yeah. So, there was a eclipse earlier, partial eclipse, I think yesterday or the day before that or Sunday or something like that. And in Berserk, they explain about the eclipse, and I need to watch the video again to kind of get a better idea of what they were saying. But basically, an eclipse can be a moment where you shift the reality of the world, and I think that's kind of cool because I feel like I do that a lot, but I need to like acknowledge it. Like, all right, I am using an illusion to kind of hide the champions, the archons, and the mannequins of their defeat. I'm trying to hide them from knowing that they're being defeated. Because, like, let's say somebody's stealing from you. If you didn't know they were stealing from you, you probably wouldn't, like, worry about it. But if you did know, then you would be like, oh, I gotta go after that person or get my stuff back. But if you didn't know, then they're gonna, like, keep sneaking it away from you. So I guess I'm kind of doing that. I was kind of working with this thief energy. I'm making this costume, like a Peter Pan one with, like, these ivy leaves. And it's just a belt that I'm just gonna wear. Make it an easy costume. But I was like looking up like Final Fantasy Tactics thief characters, like rogues, and I noticed, I'm like, what if I do like a thief that is in the magical realm, like a magical thief, so he's like stealing things from people in the spiritual realm. So yeah, so he has to be kind of sneaky and use illusion magic, kind of like Peter Pan a little bit, you know, like I'm just tapping into that Venus, Aphrodite energy, that nature energy, that air energy, where it's just like it's abundant, it's everywhere, but kind of like how gas or carbon monoxide, whatever you want, I don't know, it's just science, but whatever like kills you that you can't see, like it's kind of like that. And let's see, so if I'm using magic to kind of glamour you in a way so you don't know that you're being destroyed, and I want you to be like wanted. So like in the spiritual realm, you have your ba and your ka. So then your ba is what everyone sees. Your ka is in the hidden, is the shadow, is your shadow aspect. And I go towards the ba and I put illusion over it so it only sees the good. And I give it everything it wants, and like I let it be happy and I let it like thrive in the world. And then I go to the ka and I like put another illusion over it and I destroy it and I put it under berserk so that way it's always fighting. And then I fight that side of that realm because I always have a lot of fighting energy. I'm like, come on, I need people to fight me in the astral realm. Like if there's nobody fighting me in the astral realm, I get so freaking bored. I could do it all day. Like I really, really love to fight in the astral realm, and I'm really good at it. And it's like so entertaining. It's so fun. Like everybody, I remember when I was younger, everybody would play games with me like that, and they would have fun. Like it was fun. But then when we got older, I realized that it helped them a lot in their life. Like some became really good fighters in real life. Some like they just learned how to live in the real world and not let it take over. Yeah. So I'm just really grateful for that. But yeah, so I go after their ka and I just like boom 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 boom, take all their spiritual energy, make them berserk so they waste more of their spiritual energy, so they're destroying themselves, and they're also berserked where they attack everybody and everything around them, so they're all basically in the astral realm, they're all fighting each other and killing each other basically with their own spirit. And then I have their ba, and it's like super happy, super fun, and it doesn't not have any idea what's going on in the shadow realm because they don't even look at their shadow aspect. But if someone was a traitor and they were like tapping into that shadow stuff, they're not going to see it. They're only going to see this good stuff. So that's kind of intelligent, right? Like that's a pretty good strategy, because remember that everyone has this like innate spiritual energy, like this power, these gifts. Everybody has these like psychic spiritual gifts, but everybody has different levels, and everyone has different areas that they focus on. So some might be really good at seeing like hidden treasures, some might be really good at love, some might be really good at glamorizing things, some might be really good at, you know, remote viewing and spying on people from the astral realm, and they just have like really good intuition with certain things. And yeah, I met a lot of people in my life where I'm just like, oh, you have a pretty good gift, but yeah, like I still don't like you, and I think you're gonna go to hell. Yeah, sorry, mannequin. Yeah, that happens a lot. I meet lots of mannequins all the freaking time. Sometimes they even become your friends. I'm not gonna lie. I was watching this video where this girl, she's like, if your friends are friends with your enemies, they're not really your friends. And I was just dying, and I sent that to my friend because he's friends with people that I'm not friends with. And I'm like, oh well, you know, it's okay, because I know that like no friendship lasts forever. I don't care how special they are, they don't last forever. And if they do last forever, I'll be super happy, because that would be something that I want in my life. But that doesn't happen. No, not really. Doesn't happen. There can even be moments where you have like somebody that's really important to you and a friend. Like I remember when I was younger, I had this friend that I really looked up to, and I thought she was the best, and she knew a lot, and she really helped me dive into my witchy side and appreciate all that good stuff. But I was like, she got a lot of backlash from those magical energies, and she couldn't always handle it, but I would always be fighting to help her. And then later on, I'm like, oh, that's a mannequin. Like, they just can't handle things the same way we can. But they're also really like, some mannequins are just in the front. And I think those are important, because the Illuminati champions, they protect those mannequins that are always like out there in the front. So the more of a mannequin that you are, usually you get more rewards depending. So like, let's say you're really trendy, you're really out there. Because, oh my god, when I was younger, like, I would like, oh, I like this, I like that, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna wear this, I'm gonna wear that. And then somebody else would do the same thing, and I'm like, oh, what a poser. Like, you could tell straight off the bat, like, it was a mannequin, like, they think they're cute. And I'm like, no, it's not about being cute. No, it's not. It's about, like, something else, and you're not part of that. So I'll just be like, oh, poser, 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 poser. I would just see them all over the place. And they would pop up and like come out more because it's like a trend, you know. But yeah, those are things you notice about mannequins, and they're really good at that. So the ones that are really trendy and like follow all those rules, they usually get picked up by the other champions, because then these champions will use that mannequin's energy to get what they want. So those people are probably like spies spying on Aphrodite, my character, the Demon Lord, and they're like, well, we noticed that the Demon Lord has been wearing this a lot, or he's been doing this a lot, or that a lot, or saying this, or saying that, or talks like this, or talks like that. And then they'll relay it back to the other champions. Usually, my character used to be really exclusive, and nobody could really spy on it like that before. But since my character has to be around so many mannequins all the time, it's easy for them to witness or view the Demon Lord. Before, like, they couldn't, because he was always with his family or he was somewhere safe. But now he's like always around mannequins. Like, he's like deep into enemy territory. Have you ever? Okay, have you ever played a game? I'm playing Final Fantasy 14. I'm level 60 now. I'm a dancer. I used to be a black mage. Now I'm a dancer. But there'd be moments where you run through like a huge crowd, and sometimes you have to stop and you have to start fighting that crowd because you pulled in a lot of enemies. It's kind of like that. Like, I'm just like, and now that I'm here, I'm like, oh shit, the mannequins are everywhere, and if you don't take care of them one by one in the astral realm, then they all start ganging up on you. The cool thing though is that the dancer can hit a lot of people, so he has an AoE effective area effect on, or area of effect. Yeah, so he hits everything around him basically, and he keeps dancing and having fun. And I was like, woohoo, that's fun, because he has these little spinning chakrams. Yeah, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to do that. Anyways, But the black mage, he was more of just attack one thing really hard and make it take a lot of damage, and put something on it to make it damaged, and then recharge your magic and then attack again, and try to like figure a way to do it very quickly to do as much damage as you can without moving too much, and just following a rhythm almost. Which is super cool. I love black mages. All right. And I want to kind of combine that with the dancer, and that's kind of what I do. But I'm like, all right, maybe I can kind of see a little bit more of the video game and incorporate it into my magic. So with the area of effect, while I'm dancing, I know that it's like taking out everything evil around me, all the mannequins, because the mannequins, they have a lot of HP, they have a lot of MP. They used to be weaker, but now they're really, really strong. So like, if you ever read Revelations or the end of the Bible, it mentions that like the people that are going to go to hell, they get really strong and they start taking over the earth. And I think we're at that part. You can come in if you want. So yeah, the cat just came and attacked us right now. Alright, so what was I talking about? The end of the world, Revelations, mannequins, yeah. So the people that are damned, that are going to go to hell, they used to be really weak. I'm not even playing. They were pretty destructible. Like, you could destroy them really quickly. You could point them out and everybody would destroy them. But now, when I was younger, I was like, I want to make a world of peace. So I did. I really did. I mean, nobody gets beat up like they used to. Nobody fights. Nobody's scared anymore. Like, there's not a lot of dangerous things that there used to be. It used to be very dangerous. Now it's not. So now all these mannequins are running free, and they have so much power, and they took advantage of that moment, and they really, really leveled up. And now they're like super high up there. They're a bit unstoppable, and the only thing I can do is fight them from the astral realm, because they can't be hurt in the material realm anymore. So now it's like I really gotta double down on my magic and just pray for the best. Pray for the best outcome, for good things to happen for me, right? Alright, so yeah, we got a little bit of an idea of the mannequins and how they work in the world of Castle Demon Lord. These are going to be the main enemies for the Demon Lord, but then you also have like other characters. So if there's like some mannequins, and sometimes they're a little bit special where they like to play along with Castle Demon Lord. So they're like, okay, I'm gonna resist the Demon Lord's objectives to destroy the earth and take it and conquer it. So then they usually try to protect the other mannequins, and they try to like create their own little hero story. And yeah, so we have an idea a little bit of like how this world is working. So you have the Demon Lord trying to destroy the mannequins, and then the mannequins are fighting off all the mythical creatures that the Demon Lord summons. So he'll summon like dragons, mermaids, and all kinds of creatures. And the mannequins will sometimes pretend to be those things too. So they'll pretend to be a mermaid, they'll pretend to be a unicorn, they'll pretend to be a dragon, because, you know, the Demon Lord comes up with some really cool stuff, and they're just like, we love the Demon Lord stuff, but we just don't love the Demon Lord. But they have no choice. They literally have no choice. They're like compelled to just obey the Demon Lord, but the Demon Lord's like, destroy yourselves, and they're just not wanting to do that. They used to want to do that, but not anymore. They're just like, they're enjoying life way too much, and they're stuck on the human realm. Crazy, right? Like, what would you do? What would you think? How would you do this? That's why I'm like, okay, you know, Castle Demon Lord is this open game for everybody to play, mannequins included, obviously, but I think the point is to kind of root out the mannequin. We're gonna get a little racist up in here, but I like Inglourious Bastards. It's a really good movie, but there's this guy called the Jew Hunter. I'm really good at that. Like, if I meet somebody, I'm like, oh, I know what kind of person you are. I know what kind of race you are. I know where you've been. I knew where you grew up. I just know things about people, and I'm just like, yeah, I just know things. And I'm just like, okay. Like, sometimes I'll notice it, like, in certain places, and they'll be like, wow, how did you know I have all of that? Like, how can you tell? Like, how did you know? And I'm just like, because I'm the hunter. So I know how to do these things. I'm a slayer. That's what slayers do. We're hunters. Yeah. Hold on. Let me drink a little bit more of this Red Bull. Alright, so let's get back in the game a little. So you have the Demon Lord. He's hunting all these mannequins, trying to destroy them, but they're like the main population of this island. Um, then you have the Demon Lord summoning all these demons and spirits to fight these mannequins. I don't really want to give the mannequins that ability to do the same thing, but I think that sometimes they can create creatures sometimes, but they're like really disgusting creatures. Like if they summon a dragon, they probably sacrifice somebody they love, and then that person that they sacrifice becomes a dragon, and then the Demon Lord's like, oh, I gotta destroy that next. Yeah, so it's kind of like the mannequin can do magic too, but it has to use sacrifices to get there to be able to use that magic. But that's kind of how it works, and it's a little bit unfortunate, but it's easy for the Demon Lord to destroy whatever they summon or create. It's not impossible for him to destroy it. He's like really good at destroying astral critters. Mannequins, he can destroy them, but in the reality or human world that we're in right now, it takes longer for their bodies to crumble because they sacrificed so many people before that they maintain a spiritual pressure or energy that keeps them alive from breaking down. And yeah, they're like, they probably wished for somebody to die in their family or someone that they know, or they wish bad things for people, and then they get more life support to stay alive longer because I really don't want to give them that devil factor because my character is God and the devil. So like I'm like, no, you guys are, when you do those sacrifices, you're basically taking their life force and their life energy, and you're like spreading out like a new piece of you. So like a new piece of hell that comes out of you and it stays alive and it keeps you alive longer. It's kind of like this pain or this energy from pain that they get from their own soul, like they're ripping it apart, kind of like a Horcrux. Yeah, so if the Demon Lord has to fight these mannequins over and over and over again, like I have to make it entertaining, right? Like I gotta figure out like a system, and I think I have to, even though I want my Demon Lord to conquer all these places really quickly, I think I have to put it into the story where like you have this, I maybe I can use the future, past, and present realms, but I really think I need to put them like in certain areas so my character can go and destroy them, and they can destroy each other, because obviously the Demon Lord put a spell on the mannequins to destroy each other without even knowing. So in the real world, we're not going to notice it. We're just, well, I guess if you're not a mannequin, you'll notice it, but if you're a mannequin, you won't notice it. This kind of stuff won't make any sense to you if you're a mannequin, I guess, because mannequins, they're just like blank, like they won't understand it. They won't understand the meaning of what is going on here. But yeah, so the mannequin's gonna be like, all right, okay, if the mannequin is fighting against the Demon Lord, so I want to have it where if they try to attack the Demon Lord, they're really attacking their own people. So it's kind of like my face gets put on their people and they end up attacking my person, and it's really just their people. And I want it to be like the worst outcomes. Like the things that keep them alive the most, because those things are the things that they're vampirizing off or draining off of. Yeah, I think that I have to make the mannequin very scary, because it's like the mannequin is a person that is using others to survive, and those other people enjoy it. They like it. So like let's say a famous celebrity like Ryan Reynolds was vampirizing off of you. You would let him because you'll be like, he's so hot and funny, I love it. I want it. I want more. Because trust me, there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh, abuse me. I want it. I want this. I want that. And they're masochists. They like that. They like that pain. I like pain. I like all that kind of crazy stuff too. But the mannequin does it a little different. The mannequin does it because it needs to survive. I do it because I want like a little bit of love story, but that's not gonna happen. But the mannequin, Don't trust the mannequin, I'm telling you. It does everything that you're gonna do. It'll copy everything you do. Sometimes they'll even do it before you, so that way they look like they're the creator of that energy, but they're not. All right, so yeah, so basically if you're thinking it, they're probably thinking it too. The mannequins think what you're thinking because they're that good at what they do. It's like the ultimate parasite or something, right? Yeah, it's just designed to like replace you basically in this world, even though it doesn't belong here. And it's gonna be sent to hell and destroyed. It's kind of like set in stone that it's gonna happen. But the more that it sacrifices things that it loves, the longer it stays in this realm. But I think I have a spell going on that is going to make it so that way when they destroy each other or sacrifice each other, that the cost for them to keep sacrificing gets higher and higher, so they have to sacrifice more of what they have until they have nothing left, and then all those things are gone, and then they're the last one standing, and then you knock them off their pedestal and they fall really hard. Ba-boom. So that's going to take a while to master those kind of abilities. Hopefully they happen very quickly, but I've noticed that nobody has anything like really creative coming out right now. I guess the only music stuff is like Cardi B and Doja Cat, but we'll tap into that right now. Just give me a second. Another Slayer tip: mannequins can walk into churches. A lot of mannequins own churches now. Before they didn't, now they do. Yeah, mannequins are crazy. They just run rapid on the earth and they keep breeding and spreading out and controlling things. And then yeah. So, what would we call something that's not a mannequin? Maybe we'll call them Atlanteans because we can't call them anything else. So we'll call them Atlantians. Yeah. So let's just go back to the story a little bit. So we have Ares over here. He's probably like on his mountain. Maybe I need to give them like their own locations, right? Okay. So he's probably on a mountain. He's like looking at the city, and he's like, "Oh, my mannequins, you're doing such a good job controlling the southern domain," because they rely on him a lot, because this is where a lot of mannequins are in the southern domain. They all come to work here, so they're really like productive in this area. And usually if you see Black Clover, it's a really good manga animation that you should watch. Oh, that's what I wanted to get into. So I noticed that my magic is really good, especially when it comes to destroying people that are like things that I really like. If I like really like something and I destroy that person, they usually get destroyed. So like the Yu-Gi-Oh creator, I remember I was like, all right, let's go for this duel. I want to see who's gonna win, me or you. Whoosh. And then now he's gone. He drowned trying to rescue some people. That part's crazy because I was like, and then the next one I was like, all right, Goku, let's go. And then Goku's creator's gone. And the Berserk guy, I was like, all right, Berserk, let's go. Boom. And then his guy's gone too. And I was like, oh, snaps. And I really like these things, but I'm like, why? I'm like, is it the things that I like the most that get hurt the most? I don't know. It's still like up in the air, but I'm starting to notice something there. Call me crazy. All right. So let's see, what else do we have? So we have Ares. He's sitting on top of his castle. He's looking down on all the mannequins. He's like these stupid mannequins. I wish they would work better or harder for me to get me what I want. I want more popularity and power because the Demon Lord has somehow like ruined my career and has me in hiding. And I have to work on my new business now because the mannequins, the god's main business is kind of this like Illuminati trafficking system. So basically what they do is they create more mannequins and then they kind of sell them off to each other. So they're like, I'll send you some of these fire ones that I created, and this earth one's like, I'll send you some of this earth ones I created, and they can cover up for you when you need it, and then these ones can give you enjoyment when you need it, and these ones can make you money so you don't have to like worry about working so hard all the time because you have all these other mannequins doing things for you. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, isn't that interesting? It's like they're creating their own people. And you might be like, well, how do they do it? And it's like, well, they have to make the mannequin, right? Well, you know how they're always talking about like clones, that they make clones and things like that. Well, those are the mannequins, obviously, but they're just like, let's say one of these champions has kids, and then they just keep making more kids with all these people, and they just keep spreading. They create more mannequins because those things are going to go to hell, so they don't really have a. They have a soul, but they don't have like this redemption factor where they're gonna go to heaven. Like not a lot of mannequins do. None of them actually do. And remember, this is like 99.9% of all humans on Earth are gonna be mannequins in this story, and in reality. Let's be real. So yeah, I want my story to be very parallel to the Earth. Like it's gonna be the same thing, just put into this like fantasy role playing idea. Hold on. I really love my Red Bull. It's the better one, I think, out of the energy drinks. But I love Celsius too. Alright, so let's see. We have these archons, these gods, Hermes, Ares, Aphrodite, Artemis. And Artemis is the demon lord, and he's going to take over the rest because he's like the true rightful ruler of Mount Olympus. That kind of makes sense though, huh? Because Aphrodite like predates them in a way, but also like Aphrodite is also made from Saturn, you know. But anyways, so Hermes is up here making all these masks for mannequins, and then these mannequins are probably making all the clothes for each other, and then this mannequin's making all the mannequins. So this one produces more mannequins for them to like breed and create more mannequins that conquer the earth and rule all over it. And the demon lord's like, oh my god, I have to destroy all these mannequins. Like boom, they get destroyed, a whole bunch more come out. Get destroyed, a whole bunch more come out. Get destroyed, a whole bunch more come out. And they get a little bit upgraded. But I think that there's a spell going on that the demon lord has performed that is making it so that they're kind of getting destroyed and they're destroying each other, but nobody really notices because they're going to be really busy with something, or they're going to be glamorized by something where they're going to be like, I'm doing really good, I'm doing great, like I'm not losing any mannequins, I'm gaining more. So maybe there's going to be a thing where they gain a whole bunch of mannequins, these ones get deleted, and then these ones get deleted really quickly because they need that spiritual force. It's like if I got a bottle of alcohol and I had water, and I would take the alcohol and put it a little bit into the water and then mix it up and put it back and keep going until it's like basically so diluted, and then I add like another bottle of water and just keep mixing it, and then it's just like a whole bunch of water bottles with a little bit of alcohol, and then finally it's like, I don't know, it doesn't have that same effect and it starts evaporating or something, I don't know. So that's kind of what the mannequin's doing. It's like making a whole bunch of itself, but it's like spreading out that spiritual energy a lot. And one human can produce a lot of mannequins, but eventually like it comes out, and then they have to start breeding these mannequins together to make more and all these other things. But I'm gonna have my demon lord doing some spells to destroy them off, so that way it's, you know, the earth is clean and free of mannequins, but it might take a while. I think it's just up to me, my demon lord, to figure out how to destroy the mannequins. But let me tell you one thing right now. The mannequins like it when you make mistakes because they try to use it against you. The mannequins like it when you trip up. The mannequins like it when you second guess yourself. The mannequins like it when you trip, when you fall, when you stutter. They love that. And the reason why they love that is because then they know that they have a power over you, but they don't have any power over you. They just want you to think that they do. They want you to think that they made your life a living hell. Just like when you cast a spell on somebody and something bad happens to them and you're like, or something good and you're like, yep, I did that. But nobody's gonna know that. That's how the mannequin feels, like, oh, I did something to you. But everybody knows it and you didn't do it. So it's kind of like your magic really works, but the mannequin doesn't really work. It doesn't really exist and it doesn't have a choice. It does not have any options. That was the Illuminati Broadcast. We're gonna do another video. We still have a little bit of time, so please hold tight and enjoy the show. David Moore, adios, bye.